Alright, I'm at 5433 Pentland Cir in Dayton, Ohio, doing the sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that would be concerning to the buyer. Our access is a front outside clean out here in the concrete, just underneath the front window on the front porch there, just to the right of the driveway. And it's very noticeable as you walk up to the front door from the driveway. It is PVC, a 6-inch PVC cap on it, but then you open it up and it is it's got the other like actual original like cast iron clean out. You can see, I have to make sure I clean the lines off here. You can see there's the front door. And here is the original opening, and you get down in there and there's a second cap. So we have two separate caps on the top of it. Now this is a slab. These are no basement, and if you look down in here you'll see that it has a turn in the line. So it basically forces the camera to be able to only go one direction, which is out towards the street. It will not, like, you can't make it turn to go back up back up under the house. And so got a little cord wrapped around the reel here. But and so we won't be able to inspect the stuff under the house just due to lack of access. They always made these basically where you could only turn and go out towards the street. And so it's kind of strange that they didn't put access to go back into the house, but to get access into the house you'd have to essentially pull the toilet or go from the roof. So I'm going to actually pull this back again because I've got a little standoff on it, but it just seems a little tight for this standoff. And so I'm going to pull this out and take that standoff off the camera because it just keeps kind of biting me. So I'm going to pause the video for a second while I remove this. Okay. So, you got that piece off. Go ahead. Now we're going back down through it. Now I have problems getting it to go because of the... There we go. So, with having cast iron in the house, the biggest problem there is just that you can see how rough that gets. I kind of had trouble getting my camera to start because of that. You can see how rough cast iron is. It's not a bad thing, but it's not a bad material, but it will eventually rust. You can't tell how thin or thick the pipe walls are. But the main thing is that it's rough, and so it tends to clog more often. With like soft clogs, meaning like excessive toilet paper. You don't want to use any wet wipes or anything in cast iron because it does tend to get caught easier because of how rough the bottom of the pipe is, and just the interior of the pipe in and of itself is really rough because it's covered in rust. And so you never want to use wet wipes or anything anyway, but using them in cast iron, it's a lot more likely to cause a backup. They're easy to clear, but it just happens a lot more often with cast iron pipes because of that. It tends to slow down the water a little bit, and then if something like those wet wipes catch, then then they build up behind it because the wet wipes don't break down like toilet paper, and so toilet paper is designed to disintegrate. And so with the wet wipes, you don't have they don't break down as easy. Even when they say flushable, they really shouldn't be. And so far, this line is looking really good. This clay, all the way out so far, looking really good. There's only a couple spots that have just a little bit of water in them, which is pretty normal for this material and age. I mean, even like this is like a half an inch of water, and we're getting way out in the street, right by the, we should be getting really close to the main here. So as I push, obviously it pushes the water in front of the lens, and then when I stop, it drops. So it's not an issue, plus the fact that they are running water right now for the whole home inspection. Bit of roots, but there's really nothing that I can see that would even be causing those roots, unless it's all the way across the street in the neighbor's yard. I am 90 feet out, so I'm not sure what that was from, but we should be coming up on the main here. There we go. So what I'll do to verify that is I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to go locate exactly where this is, and then we'll come back and make a note of it. Alright, so it's all the way across the street, in the white two-story across the street. It's actually in their portion of their driveway, so I think that little bit of roots is coming from their, it's actually coming from their tree right there to the right of their house, if you're facing their house. So we'll pull back. We may have to actually pause the video again and make sure that there's no more water running in the house, so that I can make sure we pull back. The only thing I saw really was that little tiny bit of roots that's actually across the street, like I said, so it's got to be from that tree across the street, and it's well off the property. And so if there was ever any structural issues or anything caused by that, that would be wouldn't be the responsibility of the homeowner. But yeah, they're running a lot of water right now, so I may end up having to, once we get back further, if it starts to get to the point where my camera is covered. I mean, it's good to see the water flowing, so you can just see the functionality, and it's also testing to make sure that all the water is getting out of the line. So I have a little bit of roots. You can see just how tiny that really is where it's getting in. And that's at about 89 feet. But it's not causing any issues. You could put some root killer down there. That might actually catch on it a little bit and kill it back. But overall, it's really not a whole lot. You're not going to send a cutter head or a jetter through there just to try to get that little piece. It's not obstructing flow. It's a very, very minor amount of roots. But it is something, you just want to know about for the future, because it is in the it is off the property, and so if it ever does cause any structural issues, you would just, if you ever have any issues, you would just call the sewer district to have them take a look at it, and it would be on their side of responsibility. So I'm going to pause the video here so we can get the water stopped in the house and let this drain down a little bit. Alright. So, as you can see, the water level is a lot lower now. They're just testing the master bath there all at once. So as we pull back, we'll take another look at it. But yeah, the only thing I saw was just a tiny bit of root intrusion at 90 feet, which is not an issue. So the line itself is great structurally. tight. Looks like there was originally a couple trees here in the front yard that were taken down, so there may have been some root intrusion at some point. But now that there's no trees in the front, we don't really have much to worry about. Like that looks like really, really old, like there may have been a little bit of root intrusion there, and it's all died off. But now that the water's off, it's not holding any water, so it's got good pitch on it. The clay itself looks beautiful. Not even really any offsets in any of the joints. It's installed really well. Okay, and here we are back in the cast iron. And based off of this section of the cast iron looks like it's in really good shape too, as far as keeping its shape. Now, obviously, like I said, we can't inspect the stuff inside the house, but all the lines have been run, and everything looked like the line was flowing great. Everything was running through there wonderfully with no obstructions. And so, just the normal warnings about cast iron, as far as you never know how thin or thick the pipe holes are, and making sure that you're only using it you're only flushing things down the line that are designed for sewer lines, and everything should be open and flowing for years to come. So that's gonna end the inspection at 5433 Pentland Cir in Dayton, Ohio.